Hey, y'all. Rachel here. What's good? Hey, how you doing? Y'all like how I pop my neck and I break it? Let me stop before I really, break my neck. Anywho, I hope you guys are doing amazing and I hope y'all enjoy this video. So today is Freaky Friday. Where all the freaks at? Let me stop. So today's Freaky Friday and I wanted to do this little video, whatever, and I really wanted to take this opportunity to appreciate the things that my ex added to my life because yes, he is my ex, and he is my ex for a very, very, very good reason. But let me tell you something. Your girl is not stupid. So at the same time, he was a very smart man. He was a very respectable man. And he was a very respected man in the community that he lives in when I started dating him, okay? So that being said, he was a little bit older than me, and to him it was a big deal. To me, it was like, whatever, because to me, anywho, that's about me, but that's not about what. Stay on topic, Rachel. Stay on topic. Okay, we trying. Anywho, first of all, when we started dating, from early in the beginning, I knew that he was not the right man for me. But you know what? I was raised in a community where they told us that we have to find a man and mold him into what we want him to be. So when we started dating, I knew he wasn't perfect, but I'm not perfect. So I was like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay if he's not perfect. It's okay. I'll deal with it. I'm a big girl. I'm grown. I got that. I could whip that into shape real quick. Oh, so I thought. Come to realize at the end of my first relationship, you can't change men. I've only been in one relationship. So, and that's for good reason. But came to find out the hard way, you can't change men. But back to appreciating him. There was a lot of things he taught me, and he taught me them in the weirdest ways, because it will be like me getting myself in trouble, and then we'll learn a lesson, because I used to act out. Man, don't try to control me. I'm just going to end up acting out. You can ask my parents. They already know. They tried to control me, and all I ended up was doing was acting out. So I used to act out quite a bit. And every time I would do something that I knew I was not supposed to do, this man knew exactly the right words to say to get me to tell on myself. My own parents couldn't tell on myself. Like, they couldn't get me to tell on myself. This man, he would guilt trip me. And because he was able to guilt trip me, it helped me learn how to not guilt trip anyone, but what to say when you want the right answers, how to act when you want answers that are going to be the right ones instead of the ones that the person's going to tell you to make you feel good. And because he was like that, I learned a lot about that. I learned what to say. I learned what not to say. And also, most importantly, I learned how to act, because he is the one who really defined to me that actions speak louder than words. Because I would do something and then I'd come back to hanging out with him, and he'd be like, "You're acting different. Something's off. What did you do?" And I'm like, "I didn't do nothing. You know, girls. I didn't do nothing. I did nothing. Nothing happened." And then he'd be like, "You're lying. Like, I can tell you're lying. Your actions are showing me that you did something. You're acting different. You're acting weird." And from that, I learned so much about human behavior. I learned so much about just the way people perceive things and what they choose to portray in the world after they've done something that they know they shouldn't have been doing. And because of that, I learned so much. So just body language. I learned about a lot about body language. I learned a lot about guilt tripping. I also learned that men don't change, or it's very hard for men to change. Like, for a man to really want to change, he has to be in love with you more than you're in love with him, and he has to be devoted to wanting to keep you in his life. And that's why, as for women, we have to set standards for ourselves, because if we don't set standards, we will get anything. Any type of riffraff is going to walk into our door and think that they can plant their seed there and call it home, and it's like, no. So we have to set our standards, because as for men, sadly, they don't have a lot of standards. um Men, if you don't want to talk about it, you could comment in the comment, we could talk about it. But honestly, to me, I don't feel like men have a lot of standards. I feel like they take whatever comes their way, and I feel like women are like that too, but we only do it because we're guilt tripped into doing it. We're told, you're never gonna get better than me, you're never gonna find a man who's better than me, you're never gonna find a man who's gonna treat you better than me. And in all sense and reality, that's not true. But we really believe a strong voice, and because men are loud, men have strong voices, and men are physically bigger than women, then it's like, yeah, let me listen to him. And it's like, no, don't listen to him. He's saying that because he's insecure. He's saying that because that's what he believes about himself. He's saying that because that's his biggest fear. That has nothing to do with us. But he really taught me about those differences, and really taught me a lot about men that I didn't know, because I know men from a friend point of view, but men from a relationship point of view is a whole different thing, because they act different. They treat you different. They just are very, very different. So along with that, what else did good old boy teach me? Um He taught me how to have fun. He taught me how to relax. He taught me how to kind of just go with the flow, which I was already doing, but he broke so many stigmas for me. He broke so many things within me that I said I would never do. He taught me a lot about self-confidence. He's the originator of me being comfortable in my own body, because before him, I still don't feel like I was that comfortable. Yes, I was comfortable, but not that comfortable. With him, it became way more like, love yourself. I love your body. I don't care how it looks. I don't care how that. So he taught me a lot about self-love. So those are the things that I really appreciate him for. He also he added a lot of knowledge in my life. He put a lot of stuff into perspective for me pertaining to my family, who I allowed to walk all over me, who I allowed to take advantage of me in terms of anyone in my life, friends, family, anybody. He just shed light on all those places, because um, he's different than me. I'm very open and I'm very accepting to everyone, and he's quite the contrary. He's been hurt before, and he uses his pain to kind of drive his next move, which was, to me, his biggest issue. But besides that, he really showed me how to put things into perspective. He really showed me how to channel my energy in terms of who should I be pouring a lot of energy into and who I shouldn't, because not everybody's here for me. And he was the first one to really wake me up and take me out of the clouds, because honestly, it's like that for a lot of areas, because I'd never had a boyfriend before. When we met, I was still a virgin. So I was very naive when it came to real life things, real life issues, real life matters, real life problems, and everything about the real world. I was very naive towards it, because I just was very oblivious to reality and to what was really going on. So he really was able to pull me out of my head in the clouds, and like shake me and be like, hey, this is a reality. This is real. This is life. Regardless of how happy, positive, and enjoyable you think everything is supposed to be, that's not how it is. Like, everybody's different. Everything is different. You have to be ready. You have to be this. You have to be that. And I really appreciate him for that. And maybe that's why he kept shedding light on the fact that I was younger than him, and everything like that. But I guess I was naive at that time. I didn't know much about the world. So he just woke me up. He made me woke to a lot of different areas, especially pertaining to relationships, pertaining to men, pertaining to what men prioritize, what women prioritize, what all those little things. And altogether we had an amazing, crazy relationship, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of everything. And he thickened my skin to a level that I didn't even know could be reached, because to me, I already thought my skin was thick. I already thought I knew a lot of stuff. But when he waltzed into my life and shook everything up and had fun doing it, that was the biggest thing. He would shake up my life, and it would bring him so much joy to just shake up my life, because I think I had gotten comfortable with the ideas that I had about life, and I had gotten comfortable with everything else that was really going on around me. So when he waltzed into my life and just shook everything up, and I allowed him to do it, like, it even blew my own mind. But at the same time, I knew it was pushing me to different levels that I'd never been on before. So I allowed it to happen, regardless of how many people told me, this man is not for you. You're not supposed to be with this man. You're not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be doing that. I still did it regardless, because the one thing Rachel does do but does not do to a certain extent is, I don't listen when people are telling me how to run my life, especially when they have things in their life that are not perfect. I don't listen. That is the only place I don't listen, especially if you're talking to me about an area in my life that you have yet to perfect. I can't listen. Like, when it comes to relationships, and you're somebody who's either been in a bad relationship, is currently in a bad relationship, or like is in a relationship and acting like everything is okay when really it's not, I can't listen to you if you want to give me relationship advice. So when it came to people trying to give me advice about that, I was just like, who are you? Who are you to tell me what to do with my life? I know this person. I know who I'm communicating with. I know that we need each other in different ways. And that's why I allowed it to happen, because after a while, dating him became like a mission from God to me. It wasn't even dating anymore. It was like, God wants me to be in his life to teach him something. And then once I realized that, I stayed because of that reason. But if it wasn't for that reason, I would have left. I really would have left. But I knew that God put me in his life for a purpose. And I feel like he executed his purpose in my life in terms of teaching me a whole lot of new things about how the world is, and teaching me all those things that he did teach me. But I still didn't feel like I had executed what I need to do in his life. So that's why I still stuck around after even knowing that a lot of things were dead. And to this day, I still would be his friend, because I know he needs a friend. I know that he needs somebody who's really going to be there for him and support him. And for me, I always felt like I was like the only person who executed being somebody's friend and being somebody's support without blurring the lines of friendship, without blurring the lines of what a friendship is supposed to look like. And that's what I aim to do for everybody. I just want to be a lifeline. I want to be a support. And I really executed that very well. And that's why I still continue to be in his life after all the hurt he caused me through playing with my mind, and all the pain he caused me through just messing with me emotionally and everything like that. But through that, I was able to accomplish all those things that I said in the beginning of the video. So at the end of the day, there were a lot of trials and tribulations, but I'm able to sit here and glorify the fact that we went through a lot, and it was all for a good reason. So at the end of the day, I appreciate him more than he will ever know, or more than he will ever even be able to fathom or understand. And I'm just happy that life puts me into these corners where I have to deal with stuff. And for me, I'm happy and proud of myself, because I sit there with open hands and I accept whatever God is putting into my life and putting into my hands, and I just see it for what it is rather than what it could be or what I want it to look like. And I'm just honest with myself, and I'm like, you know what? It's toxic, yes, but at the same time, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm having fun. So at the end of the day, is it really that big of a problem? Yes and no. Yes and no. That's all I could say. But I love him for doing what he did, even though it was very backwards. But it made me the woman that I am today, and I can't regret any of that. I can't give that back to the universe. I'm just happy and ecstatic, and I'm ready to move on and keep using the skills he taught me for the next one. So thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys.